So basically, we are consciousness that is. Oh, we are consciousness that is having a physical experience, and we are just using these vessels as like meat suits to experience this reality. And the first movie that really woke me up, that made me start thinking that, what are we really doing? Is Westworld. And Westworld was why are you zooming? And Westworld is a perfect movie in the sense that it explains that consciousness can transfer from different suits and meet suits, and basically you can have different bodies, you understand. And yeah, that example that Mav, I think her name is Mav, made is perfect. Like, we are containers for consciousness, like we're just containers. So technically that container can be used like elsewhere, like you can use a different container, and there's a level of consciousness you get to that you can even create a container at will. Like, you don't need to become a baby and shit like that, and the container can appear out of thin air. And that's what people do when they do translocation and stuff like that, where you start saying stuff like, I thought you traveled, like I saw you in this place, you're not in this place again. And there are stories where even in Nigeria you hear stuff like this person died in a certain place and now they are alive in this other place. What if they just created another vessel and continue living life and going through the lessons they wanted? And usually, when you discover those kind of people, they vanish, they stop existing because they are done. That's the only reason you even found them. Because this reality is not solid, like I say, like I always say, this reality is very fucking weird. Like, it's very weird. The same road that you are passing to go to work and the same road somebody's passing to leave the planet, like, it can be a portal. You have no idea, you know. And yeah, another thing that Westworld was able to teach me was because Westworld is about these robots that gained sentience and became basically powerful, and they're transferring their consciousness from one body to another. Like, they could not catch them, they just download themselves. Before you know, they're in Somalia, like you've traveled, like, because there's a body there, like Iron Man shit, like Ultron, yeah, you know. And that made me really question that, what if us, even us that are human beings now, we developed like animals, and we had to develop sentience, and you have to develop a kind of level of sentience to be able to even create a body to exist as a human being. And then you need more sentience to leave the planet, you need more sentience to go higher and higher and higher. There's more consciousness, more awareness of how interconnected you are with everything. Yeah. And if you understand that we are just consciousness, you understand why the transhumanism agenda will work and make sense, because you have to be very careful. But the thing I'm wondering now is, stop zooming. The thing I'm wondering now is that, what if um zoom back, um because we are a whole of a collective of consciousness, we're part of a whole of collective of consciousness. So now my consciousness now might be collective of, let's say, in the be part of the collective of courage. Like, maybe when the ideal of courage first landed on the planet, the collective it came with, you understand? What if, like, I'm part of the collective? Okay, now I'm wondering now if, for instance, now I go and get my own consciousness trapped in a machine, because they're trying to trap our consciousness in machines, but I don't know what the fuck they want to do with our consciousness. Like, any vessel that is not created by you that you go and put your consciousness, or any world, like any construct that is capable of holding your consciousness that you put your consciousness in. I don't know. I don't know if the collective will wait for you, or if they'll just assume that you are degraded with, because the collective that is going to be trapped in the transhuman agenda shit, they will not be able to ascend because they are not with their collective. Like, they're no longer connected with their collective. Like, it's like an internet shit. Like, we're all connected like an internet. You understand? Forget space and time, we're all connected as an internet. Okay, now if you now go and disconnect yourself from that internet and put yourself on that internet. Like how are we going to connect with you? Do you understand? Like how are we going to find you? That's the question. So that's the question. So another movie that really makes this agenda make sense is Upload. Upload is a nice movie. It explains how you can easily transfer consciousness. You understand? Put the consciousness somewhere first. Technically, what do you think our DNA is doing? Our DNA is the memory card that is holding our consciousness. As to why we are doing all the travel and then we reach the DNA, download it back inside the body. Because the DNA is internal. Like the DNA is basically what is that state of matter? Plasma. You know? And it just keeps on transferring itself and using those memories from the DNA. Because the DNA is like memory card. You know? Yeah, so Westworld, full movie.